program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine.
Welcome to the Cedar Sports Corner, everybody. I'm Alex Laverson, and joining me off screen is our producer, Mr. Angelo.
Rally, sons of Notre Dame, please stop the rain.
Yeah, and it's been a rainy one the past few weeks, and I know Angelo is rain's coming from his eyes because now the Lakers have acquired from the Pelicans Anthony Davis. And now you have a lot of notable sports writers already saying that the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship. You know, such as Shannon Sharpe.
What's a fighting pelican?
Well,
I've never seen a pelican upset.
Well, I guess a pelican is the state mascot or logo for New Orleans. I thought New Orleans could have done better with their name, like the Crew or something like that. Pelicans just doesn't seem to kind of flow, you know what I mean? But anyway, so obviously Lakers, rough year last year. Now they got Anthony Davis. Is LeBron going to be rejuvenated, or so it's still a no for you, huh?
All he does is cry. Please give me somebody good on my team. You know what? When I was growing up, I used to like to be on the team that was the underdog because we can fight back.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron's I gotta be on the team with all the good players because after all, that's the only way I win.
Well, you know, and he finally has that star on his team with Anthony Davis. Now the Lakers shipped Lonzo Ball, and so was a decent amount of first-round picks. Do you think the Lakers? Who do you think came out on that trade?
Did you ship Alonzo Ball? Sounds like the commercial.
Yeah, well, all I know is at least the Lakers don't have to deal with LeVar Ball anymore. Or at least I don't think so, unless he finds his way to still menace in their affairs. But you know, the whole baller brand, things like that, I think that's just over and done with. I think I was pretty much over and done with for a while now. But I'll tell you what, Angelo, I'm not by any means a Toronto Raptors fan, but I was happy that they were able to dethrone Golden State.
I was less than enthused.
Okay, and why is that?
Because I like Golden State. I like Stephen Curry.
Well, yeah, but I think it's good for the NBA.
He doesn't cry. He's not a crybaby. He's not a wham-wham.
Do you think it's good for the NBA as a whole to have a different team win a championship, or do you think it's better to have that one dynasty?
I think they're trying to expand their market into Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not getting an American market.
Well, speaking of, Canada, I guess at the parade there, the championship parade they had for the Raptors, there were gunshots that were fired. If I'm correct, I think 4 people got shot, 3 got arrested. And I think that's the first time that at a major sports parade for a team that won a championship that an incident like that happened. I went to the Steelers championship parade in 2005 when they won the Super Bowl, and that was an experience I'll never forget. The whole city was happy. It was my first time witnessing a team win a championship. I was with my father and my friend Josh, and it was special. And I remember we were all huddled on the street. I do remember a lot of people fighting and complaining to get front row or to be in the front of the street when the rafts or the vehicles carrying the athletes and the trophies were on. That was memorable, and I remember being really cold. But it's a shame. I feel bad because that was the Raptors' first championship in franchise history, and they had to have their parade ruined by that. But hey, at least they got Drake, right? That's your boy.
I'm just...
Yeah, you're shaking your head. But you know what? Listen, like I said, I think it's good for the NBA for the most part. Brings a little interest back. I know a lot of people get bored when the same team wins a championship in a league over and over. That's like with the Patriots keep winning, Super Bowls. A lot of people get turned off by that because it's redundant. Alabama, when they were winning those championships,
No, they get mad because the Patriots keep giving Super Bowls. Okay, not because they win Super Bowls. They're giving them. It's like, oh, little Patriots, we're not going to call interference on you. Okay.
Well, what about in college football in Alabama? It seemed like every year Alabama was at the top. So that's, to me, it wasn't like a hatred thing or a mad thing. It was just like boring. I just think, diversity in terms of teams winning is good for sports leagues. But anyway, I think we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will talk a little bit about the Pirates. And now word from our sponsors.
This program furnished by the MAD Unit, Mobile Auto Detailing. See Michael Sad at themadunit.com. Holy snowman, it's the Turf Bar, home of great sandwiches, appetizers, tacos, you name it, they have it at the Turf Bar. It's just the right food. You'll enjoy those special drinks. They're there too. And get that nice cold beverage, relax, enjoy the Turf Bar. If you ain't there, you should be. Hello, friends. Pinella Brothers, 1701 Hamilton Street, provided funding for this program. Great food and drink, Pinella Brothers.
Welcome back to the Cedar Sports Corner, everybody. Angelo.
And let's get this off right out of the... I totally apologize. We always carry Cedar. We always carry the Beaver Lawrence County, North County baseball, and due to the rain, Flaherty's underwater. All the fields are underwater, and we can't do local baseball. And we will do local baseball as soon as it stops raining.
It seems like it's been raining nonstop.
I don't know how they're going to get all the games in, to be honest about it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Normally, well, not normally, but it would have been nice to say, well, at least we have the Pirates to talk about.
Yeah. The Pirates have been getting rained on.
I know. Well,
and when it doesn't rain, you wish it did because they're not doing anything.
How many games below 500 are there right now?
I don't know. Let's just put it this way. Lake Erie's at record levels, and the Pirates are somewhere under Lake Erie.
Mm-hmm. It's bad. I think the last time we were on here talking about the Pirates,
question I have,
few above 500.
if you could answer this.
Okay.
Why did they deplete their pitching staff?
And I learned a long time ago not to ask why, because with the Pirates, the only answer that you'll really get is two answers: I don't know, or financial flexibility. And yeah,
you can't win
I know,
without pitching.
Well, yeah, I know, but
even
it's like
bad pitching is better than no pitching at all.
But no one should really be surprised by this. It's just the Pirates' way. Send off.
Why don't they just get a guy and say, we're going to throw underhand to the rest of the major leagues?
And it's crazy. I can't think of a sports organization where it's like the owner and the management just does not care at all about their perception. This guy just doesn't care. Even when if there are other owners in sports, and they actually, let's say, and if they didn't care about their teams, at least they're low key about it. It's like Bob Nutting and management. It's like they're okay. They have like the grapes to know. They have the grapes to say things that they know would upset people.
And don't charge me full price if I'm going and see Sandlot baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That really, really ticks me off because I've seen better high school games than I've seen Pirate games. I mean, first of all, the pitching stinks. Second of all, you want to charge me top dollar to walk in. Okay, to sit in the outfield to watch you get killed. And I'm sorry, I'm not there.
Well, you know what? The Pirates, if there was a bright spot, would you say it'd have to be the play of Josh Bell, right? What are your opinions on Josh Bell? Obviously, well, you'd rather have the team be winning, but
he's leading the majors in the All-Star vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so good for Josh. I mean, I just would like to be able to. I don't have to win, but I'd like to see competitive baseball.
That's me. As long as they're competing up to the very end, I'll be content.
We're not getting competitive baseball. We're not even getting, like when you lose a game 14-1, 14-2, 10-1. That's not competitive baseball. That's why don't we go out and what do you want? Hot dogs and nachos, and maybe we'll watch some fireworks and we'll get a couple Cokes to drink, and competitive baseball. And I go back to that, and then they wonder why the Steelers and the Pens are everybody's favorite. Well, they're competitive.
They make the postseason.
Pitt gets what Pitt gets because at least they're competitive.
When Pitt's winning, fans show.
Yeah,
they're fickle.
Even when Pitt's not losing, they're being competitive.
Yeah.
Okay, day in and day out. Okay, the Dukes increased their attendance because they were competitive. Nobody wants to see a doormat.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the thing. Like, I understand, fan loyalty and everything. You should be a fan of your team through, the losses and everything.
Yeah, but this is too many years.
Well, you're asking fans to emotionally invest themselves into 160 plus games.
Yeah, and it's been 25 years since we even smelled competitive.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if a few years ago and they made the playoffs, this couple of years, that was nice, obviously.
Yeah.
It was like a sniff of, of what could be. But it's still, even that was so special to a town starved of baseball. For a town, that playoff game, where the fans were, chanting Cueto, you could just feel the electricity. That was just
Spit it out.
Decades of frustration built up in the air. You could just cut it out. It was amazing. I didn't even go. But it's a shame because that's what I feel like fans of Pittsburgh deserve. And I feel like Pittsburgh is a baseball town as well as a football town. They were a baseball town first, and it should continue to stay a baseball town. But again, we'll have more of this conversation another day. For now, how about we take a break and we'll have a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll talk some college sports, talk some Pitt Panther basketball recruiting and football recruiting. All right, word from our sponsors.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
And welcome back to our third and final segment of the Cedar Sports Corner, everybody. Angelo, last time I was here, I was talking about how Pitt basketball missed out on a number of big men recruiting for this offseason. They were able to finally get a pickup with the addition of Eric Hamilton from UNC Charlotte. If it's one of those UNC branch schools, and he's a graduate transfer, 6'9", power forward.
It never works.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I've watched Duquesne try it, and it only works when you're getting a Notre Dame player going to a Duquesne. It doesn't work when you're getting somebody at a smaller school going up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not with it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to add something. I wanted to go to football a second.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
How about the Duquesne Dukes? Now, making the playoffs last year, and now as we look at the schedule moving forward, the Dukes are going to take on Welsh in a warm-up game, and Welsh is over in Youngstown.
Okay.
And then they're going to go play YSU. Now, with a great showing against South Dakota State, are the Dukes making the next step in football?
Well, what would be the next step for you? What do you want to see as a fan?
The next step to me is if you're playing them and playing South Dakota State tough, okay, then you're on the same level as YSU.
Right.
And if you're on the same level as YSU, then you're ready for a Pitt Duquesne football game.
Mm-hmm.
And that might really tick off the boys at Penn State.
Well, Penn State.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Duquesne's going to win that game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it creates interest.
Well, no, it absolutely does.
Duquesne Pitt games always create interest.
Well, yeah, obviously in basketball that's where they play. The city game was big, and then I remember a couple years ago Duquesne actually beat Pitt. I think that was the first year of the Kevin Stallings era. Ugh. And how big of that was for Duquesne to beat one of their inner city rivals and to beat an ACC team nonetheless. So I feel like a rivalry like that probably benefits Duquesne more than it does Pitt. It kind of reminds me of like Pitt and Penn State. So Penn State fans would kind of view this the same way in football. So it's like if Penn State loses to Pitt, they have a lot to lose. And if they beat Pitt, they don't have much to gain. So I feel like the Duquesne-Pitt rivalry is bigger to Duquesne than it is to Pitt, but it's still overall good for the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but
that's a fair assessment?
I think what it does for Pitt is it establishes them as more of a big boy as opposed to playing Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
People grasp Duquesne football. Okay, and segueing away from Duquesne to Notre Dame, how big is the third game of the season for Notre Dame against Georgia?
Well, I mean, Georgia.
Now, I'm going to, no disrespect to Louisville or New Mexico.
No disrespect. I mean,
okay, but
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's definitely a bigger game.
Notre Dame's going to go down to Louisville. First game of the season, and Notre Dame's going to be Notre Dame. And New Mexico's going to come into Notre Dame Stadium, where they've never been before, see that Golden Dome, understand that this is a top 4, or at least last year was a top 4 in the country program. And Notre Dame's riding into Georgia 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Georgia in this? Because I'm saying, when I look at it, Georgia plays Vanderbilt and Murray State.
I feel like SEC schools.
And then Arkansas State. So they're going to have 3 warm-up games, which is Vanderbilt, okay, and then nobody, do you have your American Express card, because we've never seen you before.
I feel like that's like SEC football schools in general playing nobody named schools in their conference.
And right behind
out of conference.
the Notre Dame game, they got to go to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I say Notre Dame beats Georgia.
Where do you see Notre Dame finishing this year?
Same spot as last year, because after that game, they don't have to really worry about anything till Michigan. I think they beat Michigan. USC's at Notre Dame, and then it's just sliding right down the schedule, because you know you're going to have Navy, Air Force, the regulars, and I see them being able to beat the regulars. Okay, and then it's time to go back to work against the Clemsons, the Alabamas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Alabama might not be able to. It may be Clemson, Notre Dame, and 2 other teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
ACC's been, representing the national championship the past few years. So was it with Clemson last year, and then I'm trying to remember who. I know Florida State was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
I'm drawing a blank. I have to pull it up online, but let's switch over to basketball real quick. I just want to make a couple corrections. Eric Hamilton actually went to UNC Greensboro. I think I said UNC Charlotte. I don't even know if that's what
Greensboro is even smaller.
But however, this is his 3rd time transferring. He was recruited by Wichita State, and when he was coming out of high school, he's a 3-star recruit. So in terms of size, this was good for Jeff Cable. This guy isn't going to be a starter, but if he come off the bench, get 6 rebounds or so, that'd help Pitt tremendously, because Pitt needed that last year, and that could have swung a couple games in their favor. So
let's just say Pitt and Notre Dame had terrible basketball seasons last year, and moving forward, I don't see things getting better for Pitt, and Notre Dame's going to need a lot of work.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a wrap for our show. Any last comments?
Stop the rain!
Stop the rain. Rain, go away. All right, everybody. You guys have a good one.